Hi, I'm Jabron from CalTV, and I'm here with the writer, actor, and director Tom McCarthy. So it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I really enjoyed the film.
Thank you.
But there was one thing I was kind of disappointed about that I wanted to talk about.
Go and lay it right out there.
So you have this little you're from Jersey, and I'm also from New Jersey. So you have this little Bon Jovi reference, a little shout out to Bon Jovi.
Yep.
So I was wondering, what happened to the Springsteen reference there?
I figure it's one of two camps, right? You're a Bon Jovi person or you're a Springsteen person, I think.
So you're a Bon Jovi person or the character?
Personally, I'm a Springsteen person. I grew up with Springsteen.
That's what I thought, yeah.
But Jackie was a Bon Jovi person, the character played by Amy Ryan, and I had to respect that. And I actually love the song. I love John's music. I think when it's right, when you're in the Bon Jovi mood, nothing's better. But it just felt right for the scene in the movie, and John was gracious enough to give us the song for a very fair price, which most people aren't willing to do, and he's a very gracious performer.
That's good. All right, we'll get back to the movie now.
Glad we got that out of the way.
Yeah, that's something I was worried about.
That was Bon Jovi gate. That's our third gate this morning.
So the film really, I felt like it reflected a post-recession environment. Everybody's struggling financially.
Right.
So I was wondering if you intended on reflecting that kind of environment, or is that something that developed naturally as you were developing the story?
It developed in the story a little bit naturally. Maybe it was obviously on my mind because I started writing 2 years ago. I think, but what you tap into is really right. It is a post-crisis in a way, but the crisis continues, and people are going to be dealing with the effects of that crisis for the next 10 or 15 years. Good, hardworking people. The question is, how do we deal with that? That was of interest to me.
Okay. I want to talk about acting for a little bit. And,
sure.
Gus Van Sant once said that directing actors is 90% casting. Do you agree with that? Or
I do. I always attributed that to Scorsese. I think Gus Van Sant ripped off Scorsese.
Possibly.
But that might be wrong too. I do. I think it makes your job a lot easier when you cast right, and especially if they're good actors. And then it's sort of just helping to guide that performance a little bit. But I agree. I think a lot of the heavy lifting is done if you do that and do it well.
So you generally just give the actor maybe a small tip and then just let him go and do his own
I
thing?
always rehearse for a couple of weeks with my movies. So by the time we get into shooting, we've answered a lot of the small questions. Hopefully we found the character. We understand the emotional arc and stakes throughout the film. And then sometimes it's just reminding him of certain moments. And like I said, when you're working with Paul Giamatti and Amy Ryan, these actors have been working for all of them, 20, 25 years.
Are there ever any times when a scene just isn't flowing right, or the momentum's not going right, or the chemistry's not working?
Sure.
How do you deal with the situation? What do you tell the actors? How do you make it?
I try to slow things down. I try not to let you're on set and there's a lot of pressure, and sometimes you just got to take a break and say, hey, let's all take 5 minutes. And I think humor goes a long way, keeping it light on set. We're not curing cancer, quite honestly. We're making movies and telling stories, and we're lucky to be doing that. It's a great job.
All right, just last question. This film is very character-based, and there's a lot of scenes with just actors working together.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, how do you build a visual style to support that? That's maybe not too flashy, not too timid.
Yeah, I try not to let the camera be so present. I try not to overwhelm the scene with camera movement, and I try to stand back and let these actors inform the scene, let them own the space. And I think I'm taking my cue from them. It's how we set up a scene. So
it starts with the scene, and then you build.
Yeah, I'll start my day by bringing the actors onto set and letting them rehearse the scene a few times, and then I'll stand back and I'll block it with that in mind. Going into a scene, I'll have certain ideas of things I want to grab, or maybe a visual style I'm going for. But a lot of times it's just letting the actors do what they do best and not getting in the way. I find usually that works.
All right, well, thanks a lot. It was great talking to you, and good luck with your next one.
Thanks, man. Time flies when you're talking about yourself.